Oh hi. Belfast, the city in the United Kingdom, the capital of Northern Ireland. It is located at Lagan's Mouth, on the Irish Sea. Belfast, the main town. A residence of the government. And port of Northern Ireland. The largest city of the historical province of Ulster. The population, including suburbs, more than 500,000 inhabitants. 2016. The second city of the island of Ireland on population after Dublin. Mechanical engineering, large shipbuilding, light industry, university. It is known from 12th century. After division of Ireland, 1921. And until the end of the 20th century, one of the centres of a religious-based dispute in Northern Ireland. In 1911, on the English shipyard, Harland and de Wolf, in Belfast, the steamship Titanic was floated. It is mentioned since the 12th century as Belfaird, from the Irish words bell, ford, fursed, sandy shallow. The territory of modern Belfast was populated since a Bronze Age. In the district on hills, it is still possible to observe remains of the Ring of Giants, 50 summer hens, and remain since the Iron Age of the ancient settlement on hills. In 1177, Englishman John de Courcy, English John de Corky, built the lock on this place. However, 1609, when the King James I began settling of Ulster, and by the English and Scottish settlers, is considered the actual emergence of the city. Sir Arthur Chichester, English Sir Arthur Chichester, received in possession the earth in Ulster, including Belfast Castle, which in 1611 he reconstructed. Around this loch there was also a small town. At the beginning of the 17th century, the population of Belfast made about 1,000 people. Wool, leather, grain, oil and corned beef, all this was exported to England, Scotland and France. Later, Belfast began active trade with colonies in North America and India. At the end of the 17th century, the population increased up to 1,500–2,000 people because of the French Huguenots running from prosecutions who were engaged in linen production. In the 18th century, the number of the population increased in high gear. Be it were 1800 already about 2,000 people. The first were based. The newspaper in 1737, bank in 1752 and theatre in 1768. Also sharply production and export of flax increased. Belfast continued the rapid growth, and in the 19th century, and in 1888 received the official status of the city from the Queen Victoria. Hospitals, the university, churches, etc. were constructed. In 1823 in the city there was a gas lighting, and 1839 the first railway communication. The boom in shipbuilding and work of port was observed. By the end of the 19th century, the important role in the city was occupied by production of whiskey and tobacco products. The Opera Theatre is constructed. Belfast became the capital of Northern Ireland from the date of her foundation in 1921. Since then it became the center in the conflict between Catholics and Protestants, which peak fell on 1960-1990. The conflict officially ended in 1998 after the conclusion of the Belfast Agreement. During World War II, the city was exposed to strong bombings of the German aircraft. One such air raid in 1941 cost life about 1,000 people, and tens of thousands remained homeless. In the 21st century, Belfast, quickly developing city, attracting more and more tourists. The city of Belfast has the mayor form of local management. Officials are Lord Mayor, his deputy and the Supreme Sheriff, who are elected among members of City Council of Belfast. Which in turn consists of 51 advisors representing 9 constituencies of the city. Old Park, Castle, Victoria, Pottinger, Laganbank, Balmoral, Upper Falls, Lower Falls and Court. And is divided into the departments and committees supervising the different directions. On elections of 2005 of the seat in council were divided as follows. 15. The Democratic Unionist Party. 14. Sinn Féin. 8. The Social Democratic and Labour Party. 7. The Ulster Unionist Party. 4. Party of Alliance. 2. Progressive Unionist Party. 1. The Independent Candidate. In Belfast, as in the capital of Northern Ireland, there is an Assembly of Northern Ireland, the elected legislature of Northern Ireland, having powers to publish a wide range of laws and also to appoint executive power. The residence of Assembly is the Parliament Building, Stormont, in Belfast. When the population of Belfast began to grow in the 17th century, his economy began to develop on the trade industry. The city provided the market for surrounding rural areas, and the natural bay Belfast succor gave to the city-owned port. The port provided tradeways with Great Britain, and then with Europe and North America. In the middle of the 17th century, Belfast exported beef, oil, skins, fat and corn, and also imported coal, fabrics, wine, brandy, paper, wood and tobacco. Approximately in the same time, trade in flax in Northern Ireland blossomed, and to the middle of the 18th century the fifth part of all flax exported from Ireland was sent now from Belfast. However, the present city is a product of industrial revolution only after the enterprises were transformed to linen and shipbuilding crafts. Then the economy and the population of the city began to prosper. At a turn of the 19th century, Belfast turned into the world's largest centre for production of flax, which got the nickname Linenopolis. To provide deeper moorings for big vessels in Belfast in 1845 the harbour was dug. The embankment of Donegal was under construction in process of further development of the harbour and blossoming of trade. The Holland and Wolff Shipbuilding Company was created in 1861, and by the time of construction of Titanic in 1912 it became the largest shipyard in the world. Short Brothers plc, the British space company which is based in Belfast. Growth of Massachusetts. Production of cotton clothes after World War I was one of types of the factors which led to decline of international trade. Like many British cities depending on the smokestack heavy industry, Belfast since the 1960s endured serious crisis which in 1970s and 1980s was considerably aggravated because of disorders. From 1970 years more than jobs in manufacturing industry were lost. Within several decades the fragile economy of Northern Ireland demanded considerable state support from the British Treasury at the rate to £4 billion a year. Belfast is located on the east coast of Ireland. Coordinates 54E, N05A, GAO Albal. Belfast Succo lies in the mouth of the Lagan River on the western end of the Gulf, and it is protected from the northwest by a chain of hills. In 1994, on the Lagan River, the locks designed to raise the level of the river and to flood its marshy coast, which gave Belfast his name, were constructed. The name of the Farset River, Lagan's inflow, comes from the Irish first, a tongue of sand. The name was given because of oozy deposits. In old times the river was larger. On High Street there was a mooring. Bank Street and Bridge Street were called, respectively, in honor of its coast and the bridge through the river. Today Farset is moved away under the earth and proceeds under High Street. Except her, through the city not less than 11 small rivers flow. From the north and the northwest the city is surrounded by hills, such as Davis, Black Mountain and Cave Hill. To Cave Hill there is Macot's Fort, probably called in honor of Arthur O'Neill controlling this area in the 17th century. To the southeast from the city hills of Castlereagh are located. Most of citizens move on own cars. City public transport is presented by buses. There is a railway station and port. The city is served by 2 airports. International Airport of Belfast and Airport of George Best. In Belfast many liners, the most known of which, Titanic, constructed on shipyard of the Harland and de Wolff Company, where the elder brother of Titanic, Olympique, and the younger brother of Titanic, Britannic, was also constructed. Sites. The main distinctive feature of the centre is Donegal Square, surrounded with impressive monuments of the Victorian era. At Donegal Square the town hall, the real example of the mixed architectural styles, is located. Here too there is a linen hall library in which the main treasures of the Irish literature are stored. The region of Haysent in the north of Belfast, known under the name Enters, is his oldest part. It was almost destroyed by bombings during World War II, and now there was only a handful of the pubs reflecting spirit of the past. The building of the Big Opera is a site of Belfast too. It several times was exposed to bombings, but was restored and now shines with wealth. History and the culture of the city are presented in the Ulster Museum near the Queen's University. In the suburb of Belfast there is a zoo, the country park Cave Hill, Titanic Belfast, Belfast Castle, which theoretically belongs to the 12th century, but the present building was built in 1870, and Stormont, the place of meetings of Assembly of Northern Ireland. One of the most popular sites is the 10-metre figure of Big Fish. Opera Theatre. Belfast Song of the Boney M. 1977. Group. The Belfast Song, the performer of Elton John. Album made in England. In 2010 the Royal Mint released a coin of £1 in honour of Belfast. The coin is released as a part of a series of 4 £1 coins, among which there will also be coins in honour of the main towns of England, Scotland and Wales. In series Sons of Anarchy. English Sons of Anarchy. A part 3 seasons is devoted to search of the Son Jackson Teller in Belfast. Action of series Crash. English The Fall. 2013. In a leading role happens to Gillian Anderson in Belfast. Heroines of a series of books of sisters Romanov, Lena and Catherine Dickinson, lived in Belfast. The musical composition of Orbital, Belfast, enters a soundtrack to the movie in a separation. Belfast Child Song of the Scottish Simple Minds Group. Paddy Song of the Vorenus Group of the Green Crow Group. Belfast is surprisingly beautiful late evening song of Group Belfast. Belfast song by Dima Bamberg. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.